Okay. Hello, guys. I'm just gonna post this and pin the comment. Okay. So we're gonna wait for Cecily. I just talked with her on the phone, so she's about to get into live. 8 people, 9 people, yeah. Hello, guys. Where are you from? Comment and tell me where are you from, because I see there are many international people. I am from Guatemala. Do you hear me? Okay, India. Nice to meet you. India, yeah. USA, amazing. El Salvador. Eh, eh, eh. Comment if you're Latino, please. Bonjour. La Big Kif joined. Amazing. Okay. 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 Hello.
Hi. Hello,
How are
hello.
you?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
I'm good.
So
Okay.
happy.
I was telling people to comment where they're from. We have some French people, some people from the US, El Salvador, and India.
That's amazing. There's people from everywhere here.
Yes.
Florida, I know them. Super nice. How is this Tuesday going for you? How's Tuesday going for everybody in the comments?
Well, for me, I had class all morning. Then I came back. I was editing some photos I took on Sunday. Then I took a nap to prepare for this live, and now I'm here with you.
Ah,
How for Tuesday? Oh no. I think we have a little bit of problems with the connection. Sorry, guys. Wait. Okay.
did something happen with the connection?
Yeah, you were in freeze.
Oh, okay. If it happens again, then I'm gonna have to switch the Wi-Fi. But hopefully, we'll be good from now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sama.
that marche.
So, Cecily, I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what's a little bit of your story and your background with France.
For sure.
And then we can continue.
Awesome. So, hi guys. My name is Cecily. I am currently 23, and although I'm not living in France anymore, I lived there from 2018 or 2019 to 2021. So it's a total of 3 years. And I am now living in Lisbon, Portugal, which is not too far from France, but I am super happy that I'm still based in Europe. I'm actually from the US. My parents are both from Puerto Rico, so big mix, a lot of multiculturalness in there. And I never know what to respond when people ask me where I'm from. So that's my answer for you
That's a
guys.
blessing to
Yeah,
have so many like cultural backgrounds.
for sure.
Uh,
I'm super grateful for it as well. Like I've gotten so many like different world views and perspectives because of the fact that I'm a little bit from everywhere.
Cecily's perspective.
Yeah. That's it.
I I I actually found Cecily. I think it was in 2020
Yeah.
because she has a YouTube channel where she shares so many helpful videos about her journey in France, how she learned the language, the French language, her experience with getting to know people, getting to know the country, Paris life. So she knows.
Yeah. I can also like describe a little bit how I got from the US to France. So a lot of people ask like, "Oh," when they hear my American accent, like, "You're on vacation, right?" And I'm like, "I have been here for almost 8 years now." So let me just explain. I moved to London actually when I was super young. I was 15 and I finished my high school there.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved because my stepdad, he got hired in London. So it wasn't really my choice to come across the whole ocean, but it happened and it really opened my eyes to like a new part of the world at a super young age. And after he went back to the US with the rest of my family, and I decided that I wanted to stay in Europe because I just related more to the way things kind of worked here. I saw myself living here long
How
term.
old were you at that time?
I was just turning 18, so super young. Um, but yeah, I couldn't imagine myself going back to the US. I would go back in the summers when I was still living in London, and I would be like, it was so strange having like mini culture shocks from my own home country. Like I would go back and be like, why do they do things like this here? And I'm like, I I grew up with this. I should be like used to it, but it wasn't. So I was in London for 3 years, sorry, 2 years, and then south of England for 1 year to do arts and design program. And
Ooh.
then I moved to Paris for what was supposed to be a 1 year gap year. It turned into 3 years of living in the country. And I was au pairing for 2 years. And then for the third year, I started working in France and also working on my YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
like Sarah was talking about earlier.
It's a
Um, yeah, it was a whole journey.
How was your experience with au pairing? And if you could explain to us a little bit what's the concept about au pair?
For sure. So au pairing is an amazing way to actually just like go experience a completely new culture that you're not familiar with. A lot of younger people tend to do it in Europe. Many people back home in the US don't really know what it is. They don't talk about it that much. They decided, like when they're maybe 18 or 17, the younger people in Europe, that they want to have a gap year, but they also still want to do something like productive and like experience something new, have a break from studying. And so there's a lot of au pairs coming to France actually, because it's a very common concept. And they come live with a host family. They take care of their children. Most likely they will teach them English or their other, like any other mother tongue that they have that the family agrees on with the au pair. And yeah, from there you get your housing, you get your transport usually covered. You get sometimes if you study the language when you move to the country, they will sometimes cover the cost of the school as well. Your food is covered, so pretty much you're set, and it's an amazing way to enter a country because you don't have to worry about all the tiny logistics. Like you just have to find the family, which is the most tricky part. I have stories to talk about if we want to go there. But yeah, I think it's an amazing way for people to integrate into a new culture, a new country. And I will always recommend this experience to everybody that I know because I know people who start when they're 18, and I know people who are much older who also do it like later 20s. I've never seen a 30-year-old au pair, but you're never too old.
Question: when you au pair with a family, do you get in touch before you're there, or is it like you get there and you like how does the contact or messaging goes with the
Yeah,
family,
that's
or
a
how do they choose you, or how do you choose the family?
That's a super good question because choosing the right family for you is super important for you to have a positive and pleasant stay in a country that's super foreign to you. Um, and it's already scary enough to go to a new country that you know nobody, it was my case. You know nobody, and you need that support, that foundation. And so that's what the host family is for you. There's two options. You can go on websites and resources like aupairworld.com. I can write in the chat, or Sarah can write in the chat, aupairworld.com. That's how I found my family. Or you can actually go through an au pair agency, and there's so many different au pair agencies online that you can search for. I also found many au pair opportunities on different Facebook groups, but this is a less reliable way to do it because there's no guarantee that you're going to be provided with like a service as you would with an agency. So yeah, I just went through aupairworld.com. It's free. You can make a profile. It's like a social media, but for finding a host family, you like you read different people's. Sorry.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, you read the profiles and you see if they're a good match for you. Some people like working with smaller children. Some people prefer the older ones because they're more independent. But it's really up to what you want. And I think that's the most important thing. You have to know what you want, set your boundaries. That's super important. Know what you want in a host family and then start looking. Don't start looking and then be like, oh,
Okay.
maybe this is good.
Someone is asking, how did you make sure the host families were safe to stay with?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like when you go on Airbnb. Okay, this is a weird
You
comparison, but
trust the the thing,
the
right?
what?
Like you trust the company.
Yeah. The agencies, it's amazing because they actually can help you if you go with a host family that you don't match with, like it's not a good match, and they will help you find another one. So that's why people pay the service of having the agency instead of just doing it by themselves, that's what I did. I just did it on my own. Um, but I did a FaceTime, or I don't remember if it was FaceTime or Zoom, to talk to them first. I kind of checked the vibe there, but it's very hard to fully get a real idea of what you will have when you actually arrive to the country. And I did do the meeting online. We did the interview just like through video call. And I got there, and 2 months later, I had to switch families because we were not a good match at all.
I have had friends that have done au pairing and they also switch families. So I think it's a very normal thing,
Right.
like to trust the process. And then after you finish with your au pairing, um, how did you find an apartment when you moved out of the house of your
For sure. So finding an apartment is super difficult in Paris. Like, I don't know how it is in Montpellier where you are, Sarah. Like, if it's more
it's so
manageable.
tricky and difficult. It depends
Yeah,
on the season where you look for the apartment, but it's always like you have to be persistent.
yeah, you definitely do. I was looking on different websites, such as I don't remember exactly the names of the different sites now. Like something with Loger, L O, yeah,
I'm gonna write this.
yeah, C'est Loger, and also Facebook groups again, but this is the more risky route because you don't have like any kind of guarantee that like if you're doing a visit or viewing that they're gonna actually show up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely a hard task, but I actually knew people who were trying to rent a studio out, and that's what was able to help me out. Like, so I would say knowing somebody that has contacts is the best way.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to put yourself in there.
And what about your social life
Mm-hmm.
in Paris? It was
So
make friends at the beginning, or are people friendly? Like, talk a little bit your experience.
as an au pair, I think it is, especially in Paris. I don't know how it is in other cities in France, but usually, and I've heard this about like Barcelona and different cities in Italy where people also au pair. You have very good communities that link up like all of the au pairs in one city, whether that be on Facebook or Instagram. You can usually find them also through like YouTube as well. There was a community called Au Pair Au Paris when I was au pairing there, and I was able to find like different activities that they would do on the weekends, like picnics or like eating out, going to museums together. Um, I just think that it was probably the first interaction that I had with anybody in Paris was definitely with international people, and people who were in the same exact situation as me. So it made us connect a lot faster than I think I would with like just any stranger.
And was it easy for you to adapt to the French language? Did you already know a little bit of French, or you had to start from scratch?
I was practicing my French a lot. I never studied in like a formal education like environment. I was using Duolingo and the classic learning tools like this online, but I was actually only studying like maybe 6 months, 5 months before arriving in France. I
Mm-hmm.
had the basics down. I could order a croissant, I could order a coffee, I could talk to people there, like very basic stuff. But once I arrived, I realized like, okay, I actually don't know anything. So I had to, I had to start like just breaking down my shyness and like any barriers that I had inside myself to just speak, because this is the only way I was learning properly. Parisians would correct me all the time, even if I was like just trying to order something fast. I'd be like, no, it's not this, it's this, and I'm like, I just want to
They
eat. You
repeat
know?
what they say, but they say the correct way.
Yeah.
So you're like, yes.
You're like, uh-huh, that's what I said. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how I learned. But I also studied in a language school when I arrived to Paris for 1 year, and it was it was a very good experience. The teachers were very strict, so I think that helped me be super disciplined with learning. I was also super inspired to learn because I was in an international program in the south of England before, and many people in this program actually spoke French as well, whether they were from Paris, Switzerland, they were from other parts of Europe where they were speaking French. And this just like opened my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a cool language. I started listening to music in French, poetry, movies,
Poetry
TV
is beautiful
shows.
in French.
Sorry?
Poetry is beautiful in French.
Yeah, it does.
I will tell
It's not
that
the same.
the Cecily has a book that helps you learn French. Are you still selling it?
It's an ebook online, so I have all of my like to-go tips for learning French. Yeah.
Yeah, and she also has many videos in her YouTube channel where she tells you a little bit about the more familiar French
Yeah.
that is spoke in France.
Yeah.
So for me, those videos were really helpful when I first came. So that's why I think everyone here in this live can go check perspective on
That's
you.
so sweet. Yeah, thank you so much. They like I felt like when I was living in Paris, they would have new slang like every 2 months. Like people would start saying new words, just like in the US, you have like new words that like the newer generations start creating and like putting out there. And I felt like this was the case when I was in Paris. And so I constantly had to keep like learning new words. I'm like, I need to learn the language first, not the slang. And I realized a lot of my friends who were also trying to learn French were having a difficult time with the slang. So I took it upon myself to just like make a video, and then it became kind of like a series. And I think those became like some of the most popular videos on my channel because I guess it was something a lot of people were struggling with.
Got to my explore page in Guatemala.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure like it got many places. And I wanted to tell you like how did you start documenting your journey? Was it something you always knew you wanted to do, or did you start later? How was it?
That's such a good question. So I never thought like, hey, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel and I'm gonna like do this every week, post a video. I started traveling like very naturally in Europe. It's so easy to travel here compared to like how it is in the US. Like in the US, you have to pay so much money to just go to another state. In Europe, I paid 20 euros to go to a new country with friends. So that's when I started vlogging. I wanted to like document all the new places I was gonna go visit. I wanted to share my experiences back home with my family and show them like everything that I was living. And the easiest way to do that was to vlog and to make videos and to post them online. And that's exactly what I did. And yeah, people just started watching from there. After I posted just my travel stuff, I started posting also my life in Paris and my apartment, how I learned the language, my life as a foreigner in France. And yeah, kind of just stuck. I ended up doing it for the whole time that I was living in France. And then I tried to do it a little bit also when I left France eventually in 2021. And it didn't come as naturally anymore in like at the time after I left France. um, I kept making content, but I think most people were very, like the people who were there on my channel were very intrigued in the French life and the Parisian life. And I was no longer living in Paris, so naturally it slowed down me creating videos, but I'm still very creative in other fields that I am like super passionate in now. I draw, I illustrate, I still make videos. I don't post them, I make them for myself. I still am learning languages. I'm learning Portuguese now. I also see this as like a creative way to express myself. And yeah, I'm really focusing on those things now. Dancing too. I love to
Ooh, you
dance.
dance. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to a dance class tonight. I'm very excited.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And how were your summers in Europe? Because like spending the summer in Europe, I feel like it's an experience, and it's like a whole little lifetime you have these 2 or 3 months, because there are so many activities, especially in Paris. There's always something going on.
Sure.
There were a lot of tourists. I don't know. Do you have any summer in mind that maybe was your favorite
For
first?
sure. I have literally, when you said that, something just like popped into mind because it really stuck with me. Um, First, I just want to say that summer in Europe is everything that you see about summer in Europe online. It is not hyped. Like, this is actually amazing. Like, I just love, like I said before, traveling is super easy here. So if you want to just go and see so many different things, it's super possible within like a budget. I know many students or younger people who are trying to live abroad, it's always a thing that they have to solve and figure out. It's the budgeting. So that is very helpful. Like it makes it very possible. And another thing that I found very strange about summers in Europe is in France, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but in Paris, everything closes in August. Like everything just shuts down.
What is working? I think
Really?
they also give holidays to everyone.
Mhm.
I think it's a good thing.
It's very good. It's kind of
Uh,
just like the whole city shuts down.
Those are the times where you realize how much everyone needs each other.
Mhm.
Because if something's closed, then maybe you won't be able to buy something from there. So you're like, oh, they they're human beings who are working, but they also need vacation. But I also need vacation.
Yeah.
So that's one of the European things. Like they are like very human. And for example, in my country, in Guatemala, we don't have. I mean, for us, actually, our big vacations aren't in summer because we don't have a proper summer because it's summer like all year long.
Yeah.
So for us, our big vacations are always in Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But Christmas became this time where like everyone is so in a rush and everything. So I feel like the summer here is something very sacred almost. Like
Sure.
have to respect the summertime.
For sure. And like you do not play around with Europeans like vacation time. Like that's what I also realized. But yeah, it becomes like a ghost town in August, respectfully. Like I'm actually really happy that they do this. It gives everybody a break. But a lot of people that come to visit Paris in this August, they don't know this and they're like, why is everything closed? And I'm like, girl, that's just how it is. Going to my favorite summer memory though in Europe, it has to be probably when I went to the south of France in 2000. It was before the pandemic. It's 2019, I believe, or 2000. No, maybe it was after the pandemic, 2020. Yeah. And we went to Marseille. I don't know if any of you have been to Marseille. It is a beautiful town in the south. It's pretty big. And you have these beautiful cliffs just because it's a beach town. You have these beautiful cliffs called Les Calanques,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take a little boat and go into in the middle of these cliffs, and you can spend the whole day there. There's beautiful beaches. You'll not be disappointed at all. Um, and actually, if you don't know, France has so many chateaus. I don't know if you know what a chateau is. It's a castle. You have little castles all over the country. And I was lucky enough to spend like 1 or 2 nights in a chateau in the summer because a friend of a friend had parents who had a chateau. I was like, what is this? This is crazy. And yeah, it was an experience for sure. But I would definitely recommend anybody to go to Marseille, and anywhere like near Aix-en-Provence, like where
Come
they
to,
have.
I'm the first to tell you to come to Montpellier.
Yeah, Montpellier. And you have the lavender fields too in Aix-en-Provence.
Oh yeah, I haven't been there, but I will for sure try to go this summer.
Super beautiful.
Yeah. Um, what else? Do you guys have any questions? People had some questions about how to apply to universities.
Ooh.
Mm, well, somebody asked, how's the working hours in France? Are they strict or the shift gets stretched? The shift gets
That,
stretched.
that depends heavily on if you are an intern or if you are an actual, like, I don't want to say that interns are not actual employees, but like a full-time, like contracted employee. Because I knew a lot of people. When I worked, I had a full-time contract. Um, and I was able to like work just my scheduled hours. Like they did not have the right to like stretch them out. But if you're an intern and you're really trying to like get up into like the career ladder and like get into a higher position eventually, yeah, a lot of people do like end up working like longer hours. But I think this is pretty normal in a lot of different countries, not just France. But yeah, I I really enjoyed my job when I was working over there. I was working for a bilingual school, and it was funny because
About that. You
sorry,
were an English teacher?
yeah, I was teaching English, and I it was super nice. It was just like 5 minutes walk from my place. I lived in Montmartre. I don't know if you guys know Paris, but it's near the big monument called Sacré-Cœur. And I was working there for a year, and it was weird because I started during the pandemic, so it was very very strange. Like we had all the regulations of wearing the mask and like being like distant from one another, so it was strange. But eventually that kind of like faded out, and France was super strict with the COVID restrictions. Like, it was crazy. I would call my family back home and I'll be like, so like, how is everything going? Like, are things still closed? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, everything's open. And I was like, what? In France, it was completely shut down, everything.
Pass sanitaire, everything. Mask was obligatory in the public transportation. Yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah.
The anti-vax.
Yeah, it was a big discussion in France for sure. And when they announced like the lockdown and everything, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And you, how are you finding Montpellier? Because I never visited Montpellier. Like, how would you describe it in a few words?
So I recently did a real video about like showing the city, and I was saying that Montpellier is a very vibrant and like charming and lively. Do you say that?
Yeah, yeah,
Lively
lively.
city. You have a lot of students here, a lot of international students. The city is beautiful. We are near to like three beaches, different beaches that you have the possibility of like get there in less than an hour. Um, I don't know. I feel like the people here in the south specifically are so welcoming and nice, at least from my experience. Almost everyone has been like super welcoming, yeah. And when I tell them I'm Latina, or when they tell that you're not from here, they actually get excited and they are like, oh, that's cool. And like they're super curious, and I have had many occasions where people don't know where my country is, where Guatemala is, and I'm like, yeah, you. So I show them in the map, and they're like, wow, that's so cool, and like they're so curious to know, like to get to know you and get to know your culture. So I feel like if you want to come here to France and you're a little scared, because of course there will be times where you will feel like you don't belong, because
For
like
sure.
you have a home and you have your roots and everything, but I feel like you should come here with an open mind, and of course don't expect to be like, don't expect anything, never, but like if you come with love, I feel like you will be received with love,
Yeah.
and if you are not, that's their problem. Like
Yeah.
you people coming here to France from everywhere around the world, I feel like it's an amazing thing. So if you're thinking about coming here, don't hesitate it and just do it, because it's not only coming here. Like Cecily, for example, is now living in Lisbon, but she started in Paris.
Yeah.
So it can take you to another. And as we were saying, like traveling here in Europe, it's so easy and accessible. So it's definitely a chance you wouldn't like to miss if you have the opportunity.
I completely agree with that. Like, coming with an open mind, no matter which country you're coming to, even if you're just visiting for like a vacation, not just studying or living abroad, I think it's very important to come with an open mind, because you don't know the different people you'll meet, you don't know the different experiences you're going to have. And when you're more open to having like all these different experiences, so many new and cool opportunities are going to come your way. And that's super cool to hear that in the South they were much more welcoming and friendly, warm, because unfortunately that's not the experience that I had in Paris. But the main reason I did choose Paris as a city was because you have so many flights going to like all over Europe from Paris. It's the
You,
hub
you
of,
had a strategy.
yeah, I had the travel bug. So I knew that year that I was living there turned into 3 years. I knew that first year that I wanted to travel so much, and that's exactly what I did as well. But I think if, like Sarah said, if you're looking for somewhere more like warm, welcoming, you're a little bit nervous to move your life to somewhere completely new, somewhere in the South is probably a way better choice. And you can always visit Paris, like just a train ride away.
Mm-hmm.
even
Yeah,
better.
South, there are so many cities. Like France is not only Paris. You have so many amazing cities, especially in the south area.
Yeah.
Um, that you should give them a chance. Like, do a little bit of research. There are also cities that specialize in different fields. If you want to come here for your studies, for example, my brother was doing. He wanted to study things about wine and like hospitality and everything, like hotels and all of that field. So he went to Bordeaux,
Mm-hmm.
the city of the wine, I
Yeah.
think.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the perfect city for him. I wanted to study art, and I'm in Montpellier, where you have a lot of great art schools. I feel like I don't know the other cities, but like look for your the field you want to be in your studies, and I'm sure you will have some city recommendations.
Yeah. And I have a question for you actually. I was thinking about it now. Do you feel inspired as an artist in Montpellier?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
many creative and artistic people here, and everyone is like in a very chill and like kind of hippie vibe, I would say. So I love it. There's like right now, especially, um, a lot of Latino festivals and events are coming up because there are so many Latino people here that, like, of course, we have a lot of music. So there are many musicians and DJs that mix like Latino music, and they create
Ooh.
like their own kind of music. So we are like a family. I mean, not everyone, but like you always know someone that knows someone that knows someone. And like when you go to like there are so many things happening here actually every week. Um, I have right here actually because I always love to grab these
Right.
little that they put in like shops or anything. For example, this is a book where you have all of the guided tours of the city of the month and like activities that are going on. So I feel like the things to do here are always there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so you get inspired, and also you get inspired a lot. Like I get inspired because when you walk around the streets, there are many boutiques, and each boutique is so original. There are many concept stores here, so you always find like unique things in every corner. So there's like so much richesse. How do you richesse?
Like richness?
Richness,
Yeah.
yes. So a lot of colors. The sky is almost always blue, like
Oh,
so blue here. That was one of the things that amazed me when I first came to Montpellier. So it's definitely a city you should visit.
yeah. I definitely want to come at some point. Like, France is not that far, and we were just there in Christmas time. I came with my boyfriend, and it was his first time being in France ever. So he got to see Paris, but we only had time to see that part of the country. And
Yeah,
I told him, like, this is not all of France. Just remember that when you're here.
yeah,
But I enjoyed so much, like going to the bakeries every day, seeing all the beautiful museums that they have in Paris. He fell in love with the Louvre. Um, yeah, it was a great experience for him, and it was super nice for me to be back because France will always have like a little space in my heart for sure.
yeah, sure.
Hmm. Forever.
And with your friendships here, do you still have friends here? Do you think it was helpful for you to be here to like have more international friends or like people you know you can text if you ever could go back to Paris? Like, how did you that went?
A lot of my friends that I met in Paris, they're also international, so a lot of them have also left, just like me. They weren't there long term. but I actually have a friend now who's gonna move back for her studies. She's gonna come in September, and she actually started dating somebody in France. So she has like that connection now in Paris, and I think she sees herself there long term because of her studies and also her boyfriend. Um, we had Christmas dinner together when I was there, so it was so cute, like being able to go back and having them in the city.
Oh, I remember. I saw your stories.
Yeah,
I
it was so
had
nice.
to go back to Paris.
It was
I
such
remember.
a
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah. So did you always spend Christmas in Europe, or did you went back home?
Mm-hmm. Christmas in Europe, I spent the last Christmas was here in Paris, and the Christmas before I was back home. I believe I went back home. No, actually, I was in Madrid because my family was visiting in Spain, and they were like, "Oh, come stay with us. Da, 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 da. We want to see you." It wasn't like my immediate family, like my mom or my brother. It was my uncle, my aunt, my cousins. So I spent it with them, and then before that, I think I went home. So I'm always spending Christmas somewhere new. I think like it's never the same. I try to go back to the U.S. at least once or twice a year, but now after COVID, the flights are crazy expensive, so crazy. And yeah, I always try to book super far in advance so I can avoid these crazy prices, but this is the reality of flights now.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're better off here. And did your family come to visit you anytime?
Yeah, so both my parents came when I was living in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother just came. Well, it feels like he just came, but actually, it was a year ago now. He came to Lisbon in February. Super grateful that he took the time to come and see me. I feel like when somebody visits you in your new home, like it feels more like your home because you're showing them the
Yeah.
city, and you're like, oh my god, like this is my favorite restaurant or this is my favorite coffee shop, and I'm like, what am I saying? Like I'm do I live here? When I remember living in Paris, I would wake up sometimes and I was like, where am I?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Nathan, my twin brother, came to see me here. My parents came to see me in Paris. And my parents will actually come this September to see me in Lisbon. So super grateful for them and for them like taking the time to come and visit.
First time for them in Portugal?
Uh, for my stepdad, he's been here before, and we actually went to Porto together. Fun fact, uh, my mom just commented in the chat.
That's your mom? Nice to meet you.
Hi, mom. Yeah, the first time I actually came to Lisbon was when I landed here and I arrived. Like that's the first time I ever visited. I never visited the city before moving here, so
It was
that's a fun,
for me, the
yeah,
same for me, but mom's never been here.
fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I went to Porto before with my stepdad. This is the only time I came to Portugal before moving here. And after, yeah, my mom has never been here, so it's gonna be her first time in September. I'm so excited.
That's super exciting.
Have your parents come or any family members?
Yeah, my parents came when I first came here to France. I actually was with my parents and my big brother. So they helped me a lot with because I actually when I came to France, I was still 17.
Okay.
So I wasn't um, mm, how do you say?
You were
A,
still a minor,
a
right?
minor. Yeah, I was underage. So for a lot of paperwork, I needed my parents to sign things that like the people in charge of me were okay with me having an bank account and all of that. So I needed my parents to be here with me. Then I turned 18 and I had to like do a lot of paperwork too because paperwork in France never
Never
that's
stops.
you know. Mm, yeah, my mom was here last November 2022,
Yeah.
and had such a great time. It was only her and me. So I showed her around. She also went on her own to like walk around and discover on her own. She loved it.
Oh.
It was her first time traveling alone, and she came
Oh,
all the way here. So I'm very grateful for that.
yeah.
Mm.
Was it your mom's first time in Europe, or was
No,
she already here?
it was not her first time.
Okay.
She had already. Yes.
Super
What
nice.
other questions? Let me. I have like a little box where people put questions.
For sure. I want to put my, if that's okay, put my art account in here as well in
Yeah.
the comment or on the pin maybe. I don't know if you can edit the pin.
Yes.
I've been
Can
working on
can
that
you
art account.
can you explain why are you called La Big Kif and what does Kif means?
I will explain. So, I actually started posting on my art account when I was 15, maybe 15, 14, when I was still in high school. And it's my style. You can just see when you go onto my account. It has developed so much over the years. Right now, my style looks completely different compared to what I was doing like when I was 14, 15. And I used to have a different name for that account. I can't remember the name right now, but I chose La Vie Kiffe because in French, kiffe is actually a slang word for to like something, or like if you have a crush on something. Like if you have a crush on a person, or you're crushing on someone, you say je la kiffe, like je le kiffe for a guy. And yeah, I just thought this word was so fun, and I loved the way that it like sounded, the way it's spelled. I thought it was like funky and goofy, and that's very much how I would describe my art style. Very colorful, playful, and yeah, this is how I chose it. I randomly chose it one day. I was just maybe doing something super random.
Original. Like
Yeah,
I get it because I speak French,
yeah,
but even if you don't speak French, I think it's intriguing and
yeah.
fun and like it stays in your head. So great choice.
Thank you. I really want to remember now, like what was my name before, because I can't remember. But I think I'm gonna stick with La Kif. Like right now, I'm really dedicating a lot of time towards my art and my practice in art, and I don't have any uh I don't have any plans to change it. So I think we're sticking with this one.
Yeah. Right.
I'm excited. I'm very.
Matching nails.
Oh.
I
I painted them on Sunday and I was like, yep, this is the color for this week. I change it like at least once a week. I can never
Me
stay.
too. Me too.
It's like a ritual, just like painting your nails. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah. Do you want to do our last question?
Sure, let's do it. I'm down.
So, how was your experience living alone?
Ooh, that's good.
Alone.
Um, so when I was living in England, in the south of England, I was more specifically near Brighton. It was a smaller town called Bournemouth. I was living in a college dorm with four other girls, I believe, four or five. And so, like, there I got a little taste of what it's like to, do things for yourself, grocery shop, laundry, cooking, all of this stuff that you do when you live alone and you're independent. So this was a super nice, like, transition into being on my own. In Paris, I moved into an apartment. Even when I just, like, got with the host family, they gave me my own studio, which was amazing. So I got to live alone, but it was in the same building as them. So I always had kind of this like, if I had an emergency, I have something to like fall back on because they are in the same building. So I think it gave me so much independence, individuality. I think it also gave me so much peace in my whole body, my whole heart, my soul, if you let me say that. Because I didn't have to like, when you live with people and you are always kind of like, oh, okay, like this person's like, I have roommates now and I feel this way now. It's like, oh, they're using the kitchen or like I'm using this part of the house. It's just like you can do whatever you want when you live alone. You don't have to worry about any of that. So I think it just gave me a lot of like freedom, individuality, independence. But also there's like the downsides of it. Like you have to clean by yourself. You can't depend on anyone else to help you
Yeah,
clean.
yeah. It's you who is in charge of your well-being and
Yeah,
everything.
but it gives you so much like you become like very prideful. For me, I became very prideful of my like routine and like how I took care of myself. And like I very much believe like self-care and like taking care of yourself, it shows how much you value who you are.
Yes.
So I think this was a big stepping stone for me into like growing up and becoming the person I am today, for sure.
Yes, I would say the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone wrote a very big thing here. I don't know if we want to answer before we get off.
How much does knowing French help in getting scholarships and or part-time jobs in France? Is it difficult to get the later as a to get the
Oh, the latter. So the latter is like the second option. So he said two
oh
options. He said in getting a scholarship and a part-time job. Um, so that depends which scholarship or part-time job you're applying for. For me, they actually wanted somebody who was a native English speaker because I was teaching English. So if you look for roles like this, and they're much more likely going to be available in like bigger cities for people who are interested in learning English and interested for their kids to learn English. This is always going to be like a necessity, or like it's always going to be an option for the foreigners who speak English to do. And if it's a part-time job in French, I think it's pretty important that you speak French, because they're probably going to prioritize those people over the people who don't speak French, especially if it's like a service job or something like that.
for the person who asked the question, I did a Q&A like a few days ago about getting scholarships. Oh no, I did it about internships, not scholarships. Sorry. You you have the highlight in the Dimension France profile that's called Sara. That's me. And you have a lot of useful information there. You can go check that out if you have any more questions.
Yes, it was so nice doing this with you, Sarah, and I really appreciate you for inviting me and allowing me to have this time to just have this fun conversation with you. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for being here and for giving us your time, your tips, sharing your everyone. Please go follow La Big Kif.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
So
Sarah.
if you were in the live, you have to go check her YouTube channel. She has so many. No, but like I'm I'm insisting on this because they're very good videos.
Thank you.
Very valuable information.
Thank you so much.
So,
Yeah. If you guys have any other questions, you can feel free to message me on my art account. I don't really use my personal account that much anymore, so any questions, send them to the username that Sarah pinned in down below.
yes, and if you want to follow me too, I share my journey as an international student in France. My username is Sarah en France, Sarah in France. So you can go check that out.
Ooh, yes, follow her. Her content is beautiful. Like, wake up, see you on the little story section on the top. I'm like, I want to see what she's doing.
So much.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here and listening. The live is going to be saved in the profile, so don't worry, you can come back whenever you want. And that's it.
Yes. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate you guys for all being here, and hopefully good luck to everyone if you're starting your journey in France, studying abroad in general, or you're just here for fun. Hey, what's up?
Sure. Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye, girl. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.